That's... There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster, and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Hungry for SVRA action? Well, the best way to enjoy classic auto racing is with a delicious classic from Mission Foods. Green flag your race-watching snacks with Mission's mouth-watering race day recipes. Try some of our tasty tacos, piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. So gear up your ride and fuel up those stomachs with delicious Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome once again to the Circuit of the Americas. It's a little breezy, but the sun is out, and I'm glad to say it's a nice fall, if you will, not winter, even though it's November day. Sun is shining, and we've got a nice breeze out there. And talking of breezing, I'm talking to a man who is looking to breeze to another victory if he can. That's Michael Costello alongside me, and we're both watching this man who has breezed already to his championship, and that, of course, is the New Zealander Callum Hedge of Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport. And Michael, you're fighting for your championship in F4, but you've got to be pretty pleased for the way that Callum has gone about his championship this year.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Yeah, no, I mean, the way he won the championship and everything in FR was just absolutely perfect. You know, he kept winning races over and over and over and just kept extending that league. I mean, it was pretty much textbook with the way he went about things in his championship. I mean, just perfect.
Yeah, I made a mistake. I thought his Australian Carrera Championship was over, and he's still got one round to go because he came in commentary just a while back. So I apologise to my New Zealand fans who will be tearing me from limb to limb when I get there. But no, well done to Callum. It's been one heck of a season. But actually, it's been a dream season for any racing driver because he's done 3 different series. So he's probably got about 6,000 or 7,000 kilometres under his belt in single seaters, which is rare. Not even Formula One drivers get that many. It's certainly not at this level anyway. But Michael, before we get into this race, tell us a little about yourself so the audience knows. You're fighting for second place at the moment because obviously Patrick Woods-Toft has just wrapped up the championship. And you had to start 14th, got up to 7th. I know you got done by the track limits, just like Mr. Verstappen on the very same corner a few weeks ago. But happy with your progress this season?
Yeah, no, I mean, for my first season in a car, and really, NOLA was my first ever time racing in a car. I'm quite happy with the way things went this season. You know, we did this year to learn, and, you know, I learned quite a lot with every race, just kept getting faster with my pace, smarter in race situations, and yeah, I mean, overall, just kept pushing from the championship. Obviously, a couple of times things hadn't gone the way I'd like them to, but, you know, at that point, I just learned, don't give up, and just keep pushing.
There you go. It's got to be a thrill racing here at the Formula One circuit, though, because you probably watched it a few times on TV.
Oh, yeah, I've been watching this race since 2013, actually, and being able to race here, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually on a Formula One circuit. And
is it what you expected?
Honestly, yes, because it's super wide, especially for the Formula 4 car, and it's super long. Curbs are everything very smooth, so it's really cool.
Well, as you can see, Callum Hedge leading the field out behind him, Oliver Westling, who's already had a win under his belt, as has the man behind, Cooper Becklin, all with Crosslink Kiwi. And also there, the 66 of Ryan Shehan, currently second. And now he's got to watch his back a little bit. He knew that the inevitable was happening, i.e. that Callum was going to win this championship. Callum started with a 51-point lead, and given you've got, 25 for a win, it was kind of on the cards, obviously. So I don't think Ryan's overly disappointed. He had a mechanical gremlin that struck him, one that struck Callum in VIR, and now I think it was a bearing of some sorts that just wasn't right for Ryan, and so sadly he finished 10th. He jovially said, I got a point. Well, that's a good point. And he did, but unfortunately he can't take the fight all the way to the very end. But second place, he's got 2 wins under his belt, and I think for Ryan what he really wants to do now is try to finish on a high with 2 podiums, if not a couple of wins, with 2 races to go. What plans have you made for next year, or are you still looking?
Next year, we should hopefully be doing some more things with the JHDD family. My goal is hopefully to enter the Road to Indy at some point, no matter what series it is, Juniors 2000, Pro 2000, but you'll definitely be seeing me running the USF Pro Championships.
That's great. And, of course, many of our great drivers have gone on. I think obviously the poster boy being Kyle Kirkwood, winner at Long Beach last year, and I mean, just a great champion here, great racing driver, and now just flying the flag for the FIA, FR, and F4 series here in the USA. And there's many more, I may add. Dakota Dickerson, Raul Hyman, Linus Lundqvist, you can name them off, and now Callum Hedge, of course. But all of them cut their teeth in F4 and FR. And
I'm pretty sure Kiffin
Simpson,
yeah.
Hunter Yaney, sorry boys, out of sight, out of mind. But yeah, Kiffin Simpson did very well, and he of course
now
went
he's with Chip Ganassi in IndyCar.
Very cool. Yeah, that was a quick rise, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it was funny because then I think it was either 2020 or 2021. I swear I was just doing go-karts with him.
That's wild.
And then this year, obviously, seeing him be in IndyCar, I was like, oh my gosh, that felt like yesterday since I raced him last.
Well, I think that's a reality. Is that it seems so far away at your age, but at the same time, I've watched Callum Hedge go from Formula Ford, and same with Liam Lawson, up to the dizzy heights of. I mean, I was stunned. I sat on board with Liam Lawson, and I remember when he turned 18, and I was there, And he was signing his contract with Red Bull, and nobody knew what that meant. He was coming out of New Zealand. He'd never raced anywhere else. Just great stories, and there he is in Formula One, just chucking away and looking as though he'd been doing it for about 5 years.
Yeah, and then especially now that he's in Super Formula, doing stuff with that, just kind of a stepping stone into F1 as well. To be honest, I think we'll see him in the F1 grid next year, whether it's in a junior team for Red Bull or if it's on a different team.
Yeah, I really do think that the races he did were just immaculate. I mean, he didn't make really any mistakes. He went off once in Qatar right at the start, but I mean, it was a simple mistake. He didn't hit anybody. Right. Just ran out of road and was on the dirty side of the track, which is easy to do that. Interesting, Michael. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know where you started, where your 14th position was, but they've changed the pole from Formula One here. Because it was on the outside, which is the racing line, and I mean this happens at Suzuka and a few other tracks, but I've noticed that the race director has allowed the pole position person to start from the inside, which is not the regular pole side. Look, you can see the empty space there where Formula One were here 2 weeks ago, but according to Callum, there's a lot of grip on the inside. Yeah, no, surprisingly, even in the F4 race, there was so much grip on the inside then. And, I think, who's that? Right at the back?
Yeah, the 24. It seems like he's out of...
Kevin Jansen, yeah.
Yeah, seems to be he's just out of box a little bit. That's going to make his start a little bit difficult.
Well, here go the lights then. Callum Hedge on the right-hand side of your screen when we get there. Out they go, and there he is in the 17, the all-black. Kiwi crosslink car, or crosslink Kiwi, whichever you would prefer. Oliver Westling goes on the race line and will try to go high and wide and cut across. That's exactly what he does. I think Jansen may get away with that, we'll see. Or Jensen should get away with that, we'll see. But Callum Hedge dives into the lead as he's done all season long. Oliver Westling, though, chasing him down. Westling does have a win under his belt from New Jersey, so he knows what he's doing. He had a spin in the previous race on cold tyres, but he's off and running. And we got some good racing already.
Yeah, I saw Cole Kleck actually got into P3 on the start around the outside. That was a very nice move on his part.
Well, Cole Kleck was my driver of the day on the first race here. And Cole is from San Antonio, and he's just coming back. He and Manuel Rosa actually only did the last race in mid-Ohio, so they've been out of the seat for a while. So to see Cole going so well, somebody locking up heavily there. Look at that, all that smoke from tyres literally locking up. As in the thick of all that is the gold car, the number 66. As around goes, a big accident there.
I think that was Jake Bonilla and Everett Stack.
It could be, yeah.
Seems like that might be...
Yeah, Jake Bonilla on the 20, Everett's in the 2.
I think Everett's going to have to stop for a wing now.
Yeah. And if he can't get it going, we may be under safety.
Yeah.
Again, Ryan Shehan doesn't get the start he wanted, but
up
he's
the
going at it.
Was that contact then?
Almost. Manuel Rosa.
Again.
Well, the 20's got it going. Bonilla's spun it round. Now, is he going to be okay? Let's just hope he keeps it going. Meanwhile, in the thick of it, no question about it, Ryan knows he's in a fight now, and it's wheel to wheel with the 12 of Manuel Rosa of Mexico.
Cautions come out, too.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that was good. Yeah, he hasn't got it started, so we're going to have a safety car.
I think that's a little bit difficult with his... I think that might be a wing stuck under. Just can't get the traction off on the clutch and just keep stalling it, I believe.
Stephen Giles stoically looking on in the Crosslink Kiwi pits as the safety car will come out, and we'll have that caution. So, we are under caution. Michael, take us through, because a lot of people tuning in on our live stream may not be familiar with exactly. It's always nice to get a driver's eye view on what you do here, because we're all used to seeing people weave from side to side. But do you talk to your engineer? What do you do at this point?
A little bit at this point. You're more concerned on trying to keep heat in the tires, try and get some dirt off, especially in a racing situation like how Shehan was going side by side with, I believe that was Manuel Rosa. Mm-hmm. And, you just want to get all the dust and stuff off. And, that's typically why we weave side to side. It's not really much for tire temp or heat. It's just to keep the tires clean and have as much grip as we can on a restart.
Fair enough. Good intel, good insight. You're listening to Michael Costello, who's fighting in the last 2 races of the season for second and runner-up in the championship against Titus Sherlock. But into the pits comes one of the cars, and it is a front wing that needs to be taken away from that car. That's the way to do it. A little bit of brute force. But anyway, while we're waiting for the safety car to come off, we'll take a short break from COTA. We'll be right back.
Hungry for SVRA action? Well, the best way to enjoy classic auto racing is with a delicious classic from Mission Foods. Green flag your race-watching snacks with Mission's mouth-watering race day recipes. Try some of our tasty tacos, piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. So gear up your ride and fuel up those stomachs with delicious Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship. So you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.
Welcome back. As you can see, the number 2 car of Everett Stack, who stacked it, quite literally, but the new fella to the FR Championship, and now has a new wing because he lost his front wing in that accident, but he's back out there. Good story from Everett Stack because he moved up mid-season or in the middle of an F4 season, and so quite a lot of pressure to sort of move up like that, but that's been not the policy, but it's certainly an opportunity that they've given him. And so he's jumped at it. And Jensen Motorsport got him back out there with the new front wing. Now you can see the safety car from high above. And everybody line astern and waiting. And now I guess you're starting to think about your plan. How much of a plan can you make, though? Because it happens quick, doesn't it?
A little bit. You could kind of just think, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, this, and that on the start. But in all reality, it just whatever plays out. Because normally in racing, once you make a plan, 90% of the time it doesn't go to plan. So
you should join television. That's exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I mean, for the most part, you're just thinking about how can I keep my nose clean into turn 1, just things like that. You're not like literally making, oh yeah, I'm going to go pass him and pass him there. But yeah.
And that's the point, isn't it? That's the point of what good racing is.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
That ability to, sure, have a back plan in the back of your mind, or have several plans in the back of your mind, but be ready to do whatever is needed at that moment. And that's the split-second decision which makes the difference between a really good driver and somebody who's who's not going to go all the way. And I think that's an important part, especially at this age that you guys are at, and that's what people like Scott Goodyear and the guys that have raced and done it at the highest level are looking for, guys that can make those decisions on the fly. So we're going to do another safety car lap, it looks like. That Honda Civic R. Interestingly enough, the same engine in that car is the same engines that are in the back of the FR cars. This is the last weekend for Honda Power, and they've been a gracious and fantastic partner for the championship and helped a lot of youngsters, including last year's champion, Raul Hyman, to the next stage. He currently is racing in Japan in Super Formula against Liam Lawson, the man we were talking about earlier. And, of course, the F4 car, which you drive, is another Honda Civic engine, but just without the turbo.
Yeah.
That was the one thing, talking to the guys that made the transition from F4 to FR, was that sort of learning to deal with the turbo lag. Is it something that you've come across yet?
I haven't really driven anything with the turbo, but from whatever I hear, it's quite hard to get used to, turbo lag, especially on the start with having to manage that, keeping turbo spooled up, and just getting the power band. And because it's also different with a turbo, so it's just different parts of a corner, different parts of the track where the car comes alive.
Well, Michael, we're still under caution. Let me take you back. Where did you start? You're from Naples, Florida. How did you get the bug? Do you have a family of race fans or not?
So my dad used to race in Grand Am and IMSA, and my grandpa just did a little bit of club racing here and then. But my dad basically just said, hey, do you want to go drive a go-kart? This is when I lived in Pennsylvania before I moved. Shout out to all my everyone that's at OVRP right now.
Okay,
that's
good.
where I started. But yeah, no, he basically just said, hey, do you want to go drive a go-kart one day? And I was like, yeah. So from then on, it was just
Where did you go? Did you go to an indoor car?
Yeah, no, it was at Oakland Valley Race Park. Yeah, so like I said, it was just, I just put down fast laps for my first ever time in a go-kart. And then from then on, it was just, I'm here now. So
it's always a double-edged sword when your dad's a racing driver. I've spoken to so many sons of, including Matthew Brabham, who's here, this weekend. But, you know, it can be a double-edged sword. You get the support, but they know so much that they want to give it all to you. Boris said's a similar way. His son racing in Trans Am this weekend. And, of course, he's had a huge IMSA and NASCAR career over his years. But he says it's really hard to keep out the way and to put too much pressure on. And, I don't know. Was your dad supportive or was he involved?
It's like he's a little bit too supportive. No, it's just from the whenever he used to race and everything, some mistakes I have made and that he's made, and he pushes me quite hard not to do that, you know. But you know, at the end of the day, he's the one paying for me. So
exactly. You've got to kind of listen. He's paying the bills. No, it's a double-edged sword. I've spoken to a few driver dads about it, and it's really hard. I know Boris said Senior struggles really because he gets nervous. He didn't realize how nervous he was going to get, and I said, well, how do you interact? I mean, how do you help him? And he said, I try to let him come to me. He said, but what worries me is I know all the pitfalls, so I want to give him that knowledge, but I don't want to, you know, kind of frighten him or put him into a situation that he's not going to be ready for. So, you know, it's not an easy thing. We've got a great field of young Floridians over the last few years have come through here. Some really good Texans and a bunch of Canadians that have come here. And I was thinking about Max Hewitt from Houston, obviously Ryan Shehan from Austin, Cole Kleck from San Antonio. So we've had some really interesting guys come through here. And there's no question that Crosslink Kiwi have done a hell of a job in supporting the young drivers from Dallas and that area and bringing them through as the safety car does come in. Restart about to happen, and this is the key to this race here, as Hedge now will have to defend from Oliver Westling, and this could be now we've just been told that race control told us that we're staying yellow, but the safety car's just going round. Okay, fair enough. Interesting. So we are staying under caution. Let's hope we get going. Now, this must be frustrating as a driver because you're getting hot and sweaty now and you're getting frustrated because you built up all the energy. You know, you talk about making a plan. The one thing you hadn't planned for is going slowly.
I think if a lot of us, when we get put in a position like this, we're like, oh, come on, let's go green.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, obviously, race control knows more than a driver does about a track, and it's about keeping everyone safe. And, you know. And
also, this is going fast, being patient, isn't it?
Right,
I mean, you
exactly.
are in a machine. You're tied to a rocket here. Exactly. It wants to go fast, and that's the other thing. It's only, somebody made a really simple statement the other week, which was a racing car does not like to go slow. No. It doesn't drive well. It doesn't cool well. The tires go off. The engine overheats. So you're also sitting in a machine that just is hating it even more than you are.
Yeah, and especially in New Jersey it was when it was super hot. A lot of times when we were under safety car for such a long time, race control had to throw red flags just so that we didn't have more issues with overheating and everything.
Well, we saw in Qatar just how hot the Formula One race was, and that was a real mind-over matter for some of the drivers.
And that was at night, too.
Yeah, which is amazing, but that shows you. Yeah. So, ambition, Indy 500?
Yes, Indy 500 is is definitely a goal for me to have. Recently just at Indianapolis for the fall combine test, and that was it amazed me on how the track actually is, because being there in person is totally different than just seeing it on camera. Doesn't do what it actually is.
I've been a few times and it's an amazing experience just to be there.
Yeah, it's an amazing facility as well.
But when you drink the milk, don't forget me. I'll be at the back going, Michael, can I get an interview? And you'll be like, I haven't got time right now. So this is really tough for Oliver Westling, for the number 11 of Cole Kleck in third place, and obviously our leader Callum Hedge. He was talking about how he's off again to Sunday night, tomorrow night. His mum's here this weekend, and he's off again to back to Australia for the final round of his Carrera Cup. So it's been full on for him. Finally he'll get a rest, I'm sure, after that's over, and go back to New Zealand. And he's done 7 trips to the States this year. And that's our view. In fact, our commentary position is right there, just underneath that K sign. So we get a view just of the last corner. It's not much of a view, I may add. It all shows up on the top of the tower. That'd be nice.
That'd be very nice.
And, of course, that famous amphitheater, a lot of big bands coming and playing there. And really great venue for all sorts. In fact, you can see as you see some of the overhead shots, they're putting the last-minute touches on their big Christmas festival that they have here at Peppermint Park once a year. Here we go then. Now we're racing. Green flag waves, and away goes Callum Hedge. He timed it well. And Westling caught a little bit, and he's lost a little ground as they head up the 133 feet that is Big Red. Or today, the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers turn 1, and a lock up there from Ryan Shehan. It's not going his way at home, unfortunately for Ryan. He's got some work to do now. Currently in 6th, and I think he might have lost out to Bowlesby at the restart there. But everybody through there. The top 3, no change there. And then the 12 of Rosa. Manuel Rosa, his parents here this weekend. Had a quick chat with them. Really pleased with his progress. It's not been easy coming from Mexico. And he was explaining that the competition there, not as good. And also spoke to Christian Cantu, who is also taking F4 for the first time here at Circuit of the Americas, having done a really good job in Mexico at the Mexico Grand Prix. And a shout out, big lock up there. That was nasty. That was nasty by Bowlesby, yeah. And yeah, it can catch you out, turn 11. There's a big bump going in.
Yes.
How bumpy was it in your
To be honest, in the F4 car, we don't feel too many bumps. It's quite smooth.
Okay. It's good to know.
Cole Clegg under pressure now from Cooper Becklin in the 19.
Yep, Cooper's already had a win under his belt and looking for another. He had a good race in race 1, did Cooper. A lean figure of the man from Oregon. Now, Rosa right with them. So we've got a good three-way battle between these three. Meanwhile, Hedge pulling away out front. Westling trying to stay with him. And there he is. You see the light blue colours of Oliver Westling, the Swede-American. I was asking him what he was doing next year, and he still hasn't signed anything yet, and looking for options, looking for availability. It's that time of the year where everybody's kind of like yourself, kind of hoping to do this, hoping to do that, but got to make sure that the funding's there and it's all tickety-boo, as they say. Out of turn 20 then comes Callum Hedge. Just extending that slightly. Callum Hedge's last lap, a 207.8 and a 208.3 by Westling. So at least at the moment, Hedge is just gapping it. It's just under a second. Nicely moved. Rosa.
And Cooper Becklin on the outside.
Yeah. Now
seems to be that he kept the position though.
Yeah.
And brought Ryan Shehan back into the fight.
Yep. Yeah, it's a tough one. If you do
a move for Manuel Rosa.
It was, wouldn't it?
Wow. To be honest, I would be afraid of pulling that move right there. It takes a lot of.
Well, in his language, cojones.
To pull that one.
Oh, somebody's gone wide. That's
Everett Stack again.
Yep, Everett Stack's gone wide. He just came in for all that wing replacement, remember?
It seems to be he's just trying to push toward, trying to catch back to everyone.
It's easy to do. Yeah. Try too hard. Good four-way battle, and at the back of it is Sheehan.
In that nice gold car then.
Yeah, he's got the Sheehan Strong on the side of it, and got with the old gold, which is nice because they were all black cars at the beginning of the season. It was really hard to tell who was who.
Oh, here we have another battle in the back. I think that's Bowlesby and I want to say Max Hewitt.
Yep, Max Hewitt from Houston. Here comes Sheehan. This is a classic overtake on his teammate, but he's not done. Ooh, just about does it. Nicely done on Becklin. So Cooper gives up that spot to Ryan Shehan. This is more like it from the youngster from Austin, Texas.
Going defensive then for Sheehan.
Yep. Well, we saw an inside move in the Formula 4 there. I think it was Elkin, the young Israeli driver, made a great move up the inside at 14 and 15. That was really impressive. Now we can see from above how the top two are pulling away from the rest of the pack. And with 12 minutes to go, again, Callum Hedge on his way to win number 13. He's not going to get in the record books for the most wins, but he's going to go in 3rd overall if he takes another win and maybe another win to make it 14. The record is 15, and that's Kyle Kirkwood and Linus Lundqvist. But this is impressive.
Manuel Rosa and Cole Clegg is now fighting now for that last spot on the podium.
Yeah.
Now, I believe here, especially with dirty air and everything, it's quite hard to follow the car behind.
Yeah, you can see them starting to slide around here. This is really, and also depending on the wind, where it is.
Yeah.
They were talking a lot in Formula One. I know that's a very different car, and obviously it's a lot more technical. But at the same time, you can see that massive Texas flag flying in there.
Yeah.
And if you get a side wind when you're going through those S's at over 100 miles an hour, it really can affect the car itself and affect your driving of it. Here we go. Rosa again. Textbook stuff, and away he goes.
Cole
Now,
Clegg's
can he
still
hold it?
Holding that outside. See, now here, Cole Clegg's going to have to draft down the straight, but now we have pressure behind from Shehan, so that could potentially change things up for Cole in the way he wants to get back that position.
Well, he can't go to the inside just now because, unfortunately, Sheehan's there. So his idea of getting exactly where Ryan is has failed, and Ryan's getting through on him. So, yeah, that was going to be great for Cole until Ryan arrived.
And I'm not quite sure how powerful the draft is in these cars.
Yeah.
But I'd assume that it's probably more than the Formula 4 cars just by how much more aero that they have.
Well, lock up there by Cole.
Contact as well.
I'm not sure if you hit him, but it definitely was a lock-up. You could hear the screech of the tyres. Great coverage, though, from above. Love all this. Now the gap by Hedge. Just over a second, so he's eked out another couple of tenths. Last lap at 207. This lap at 206.6 by Callum Hedge. So he's up the pace again, but so too is Oliver Westling, to be fair. 206.8. Not quite as quick as Callum, but Rosa now in, 3rd place ahead of Shehan. Kleck now 5th. Cooper Becklin drops to 6th. There he is at the back in the 19. And then behind them, it's Hayden Bowlesby, Max Hewitt, Everett Stack, who just went wide a moment ago in 9th. Kevin Jansen in 10th, and then Jake Bonilla in his first outing in FR at the moment in 11th.
Wow, that's quite a lot of curb then for both Shehan and Kleck.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those curves. They can catch you out. They it's interesting. They lowered them again after MotoGP because they all said, "Oh, too high," and that's the trouble when you've got a motorcycle venue and a Formula One venue. Right. Certainly the bike guys do not like curves like that.
I mean, either way, for an open wheel car, you can still bottom out over them. And, I mean, when you bottom out on a curve like that, you're praying that you don't lose it.
Well, or praying you don't fall foul of the rules as Lewis Hamilton did, because, as we know, he got disqualified.
Yeah.
So there you go. It can happen. The bumps and hitting the side curbing that many times.
Yeah, because the wood plank is so fragile, too, because, it's only wood. And when it scrapes like that so many times, it just gets so eaten away from it.
Yeah, and that, of course, was a sprint race as well, so it was a busy weekend. Now, Becklin's not giving up on Kleck at the moment. Cooper came in and did some commentary with me earlier in the year at university, and I mentioned his exploits as a high jumper marks him apart from most of the other racing drivers. Tall, lean figure, never easy. He said he struggled a little bit in karting because obviously he's sticking out of the kart and there's a lot of him. But he was able to keep his weight down. He's quite slim anyway, but weight is the biggest thing in karting, isn't it?
Huge in karting. For me, whenever I was in karting nationally, they had to put so much lead on my car every time I'd move up positions. I was just so small.
Yeah, exactly. When you're at competition level, they make sure it levels out. Somebody locking up, because I can see the smoke flying up there as we take a look at the all gold and black 66 of Ryan Shehan. Lovely story. Came here as a little nipper and fell in love with motor racing at an SVRA event and said, I want to do that. And here he is doing just that. And I think the world is his oyster wherever he decides to race. He's building a business behind it as well, and that's a smart move by him. This battle keeps going on. Cooper Becklin all over Cole Kleck, who was on for a podium last time out and got it. But he's dropped back here this time, and so he's going to have some work to do. As you can see, the gap between himself in, fifth to the battle for fourth is quite a distance at the moment.
Yeah, he's going to really have to push hard to catch them next.
Here comes Cooper.
To the inside on Cole Clegg.
Nicely
now,
done.
Move will stick, I believe.
Yep, at turn 11. Nicely done, and that's the way to go. Now, the problem is you've got this long run to 12. And as you can see, Clegg's got already good drive, and now side by side, so no one's getting a draft. And it's last of the late breakers, really.
Yeah.
And actually, Cooper's got the better line.
The inside, too, then. Cole's kind of pushing him toward the inside.
Now he goes back to the race line. And he's going to try and do the switchback, isn't he? Here he goes. Or keep his foot in. No, that's good racing.
That's good racing, yeah. Cooper. To the inside back for Clegg.
Oh, Cole Clegg. He is not afraid to make a move.
No. And back to the outside maybe for Becklin. No, to the inside on Cole Clegg.
Lovely. And Cooper Becklin says, anything you can do, I can do as well. I love it.
And nice defending there from Becklin as well to cover him off. Make sure he doesn't get...
Man's going to have a smile on his face, and that's Scott Goodyear, the race director, because this is what he was hoping for. This sort of racing, fair but good, not too many maneuvers. You can't swing yourself around the circuit and defend like there's no tomorrow. You've got to get it so many times, and so far what we've seen is real textbook racing. It's been really good. Now, here comes Shehan again, on Rosa. This for third, remember.
That's for the last spot on the podium.
Yeah.
Will he be able to get it?
Well, there's no question that I know, having spoken to Ryan after the first race, where he was pretty disappointed, obviously losing the title, but said, I'm just going to go for it, and that's exactly what he's doing. And I think anything but a podium will be a disappointment for him after the season he's had.
Right. Yeah, he's had a very good season as well. Just kind of keeping his nose clean. Obviously won the first race at NOLA. And for the most part, just keep him clean. And I mean, for him, it went down to the last weekend. You can't really...
No complaints.
Yeah, you can't complain.
And the way
about
he's done it, I mean, you look at it on paper, and Shehan really, 11 wins to 2. You say, how the heck is this a competition? But that's because of his consistency.
Right, exactly.
And really impressive.
Steady, obviously, many podiums throughout the whole season as well.
Yep.
And a lot of hardware to bring home.
To be honest, that's actually what team managers, because they know that anything can happen in a motor race, and things go wrong, things break, as happened with both Callum and with Ryan, and so they look for consistency.
Exactly.
One team manager said to me, when we go testing, we want a guy we can throw in a car that can go and do lap after lap after lap and bring the car home. We don't need some hero that's going to put a lap record in. We need somebody who's going to bring the equipment home.
Exactly.
That's more important to us. And I thought to myself, that's a good point. So, 3 minutes to go. Hedge well out front with 1.6. And a much bigger lead in the first race.
Oliver Westling is...
Oh, now that's
really
not 1.6 now, is it? Surely.
Did he make a mistake then?
That's a weird one, because the gap shows us now it's updated.
To the inside.
Half a second. Go on, Westling. Closing stages then. It's going to be white flag next time, I'm sure. Oliver Westling now on his way to try and challenge.
Will we see a second win?
Wouldn't it be good? Yeah, Callum Hedge has got his work to do now.
He'll have to draft on the back straight. That is if he doesn't make a move until then.
Well, Hedge, if he wasn't before, is now looking in his mirrors. We all saw the graphic for ourselves. It was 1.6 seconds, and I think you're right, Michael. I think Callum must have made one mistake, perhaps in the stadium section. Lovely shot, that. And suddenly, Westling's all over him for the win.
Yeah.
Over 9 and 10 they come. Under braking here is a possible overtake, but he's too far back, yeah?
Yeah, for right now, I'd say... a move might be smart. If he could get the draft down, the back straight, that could be a move, and I would also try and do it through turn 1.
Okay, so if let's say you're Callum, because he didn't get good drive then, how would you defend knowing that? Do you go to the inside like we saw a moment ago with...
To be honest, at that point, it's just whatever you could do to break the draft, number 1. Number 2, yes, trying to go to the inside and trying to cover off like how Becklin did to Clegg.
Well, we've seen the Indy 500, we were talking about it earlier, won that way by making sure that you don't get anybody in your draft, because once they're there, there's not a lot you can do about it. But that was good work from Callum there. He just got enough drive out of the turn 11, and now he's just got to keep his head down in the stadium section. It's hard to overtake here, although we have seen a few already. But a proud day for the Quinn Foundation and to Giltrap Racing, who've been so much a part of helping Kiwis all the way back to Scott Dixon, when I think about it. And the likes of Kervets, the Tasman team that have put together this whole thing for Crosslink, and it was signed last minute in January, and he came over to the States and has not looked back. There's the white flag.
This is going to be a last lap prayer for Westling to make that move in the P1. A little bit of a more gap now, 2/10, as we saw a mistake from him going to the last corner. I believe he just locked up, and you know that'll kill you down that straight, especially if you don't get good drive off that corner.
Good point, yeah. Well, Westling currently 4th of the championship. As we said, he won in New Jersey, the one win of the year he's had, but he's been on the podium a few times, currently sitting in 4th position behind Cooper Becklin. So he's not going to catch Cooper, to be fair, and I think he's going to hold on to that 4th place, but a nice win here will do no harm whatsoever and put himself in the shop window.
He's quite close now.
Yeah, he is. This is as close as he's been, isn't he? I mean, the gap was 0.4, it's now 0.6, but it's got closer as this lap's gone. Over 10 they come. Time running out, though. One opportunity potentially here at 11, but he's, again, not close enough. This is the key corner, Michael.
Nice braking for him right there. That might
just do it for him.
Oh, and Callum makes a mistake on exit then.
Yeah,
this
and
could
he's still off
potentially,
track. Look.
That could potentially make or break the race for him or Oliver.
Well, Callum now goes to the inside.
Now.
He's trying to lose him. You can see it physically. He's looking in the mirrors, and he's trying to stay out of the slipstream. Here comes Westling. Wesley's going to try and break himself and get the lead. And he's got him.
He's got it.
Back comes Callum Hedge and put the drive down
off
track at the moment. They go side by side at 13. Back comes Hedge.
Oh, nice defending. Oh, wait. Well, Wesling's to the outside now.
Oh, something's going to go wrong if they're not careful. Into 15 now.
Will he go around the outside? Oh, just a little bit. Perfect defending for Callum then.
One more chance, perhaps, at 19 or potentially 20, and you can see how close
Another
Westling
mistake,
is.
actually, from Hedge then.
Yeah, it looks as though Hedge is struggling with traction there with the
it
tyres.
must just be tire wear, to be honest.
He said he put sticker tyres on for the first race, so maybe he's just struggling a bit now. Last corner then. Hedge holding on, Westling coming
to the inside.
Go! Oh, and he's thrown it in there, talking about sending it. He's going to win this race. Westling's going to win. Oh, what a win at Coda.
Wow.
Oh, great stuff. Ollie Westling, you hero. What a win.
500ths of a second. That, oh my goodness, what a win for Oliver Westling.
I said one chance maybe at 20.
Wow.
I've seen motorcycles overtake there, but hardly ever a car.
Wow, and you know, that's what I was talking about earlier as well. You know, one mistake can make or break a race for both.
Hey, hats off to Mexico and Manuel Rosa, who gets a fantastic podium. I think that's his first podium in the series, so well done to him. In fact, I know it is. Well done to him. Hasn't driven since Mid-Ohio and throws it on the podium just as Cole Kleck had done, who is in the same position. He too hadn't driven the car since Mid-Ohio. But what a way to finish off for that man, Oliver Westling. And I said to him this morning, have you got plans for next year? And he said, no, I'm trying to put a budget together. Well, that's the way you do it.
Exactly. Moves like that, that'll definitely get you somewhere in the race.
Really good stuff. Well, thanks for coming in, Michael.
No,
that was worth hanging out for, wasn't it?
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Not at all. So now you know you can make a move there at 20.
I thank you, Oliver. You definitely just taught me something then.
Here's the results then. Confirmation. Jensen take the win over Callum Hedge. But Callum won't be too miffed by that. It's another good result by him. Manuel Rosa takes a brilliant Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport. Second, third, fourth, and fifth place as Ryan Shehan takes fourth. Cooper Becklin is fifth. Cole Kleck and Speed Factory takes sixth. Hayden Bolsby seventh. Max Hewitt of Houston, Texas takes eighth. Then it's Everett Stack in ninth and Kevin Jansen rounding out the top 10 also for Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport. You've been listening to Michael Costello. Wish him well for his hopes of getting second place in the championship. You can still do it, right?
Yeah, it's definitely still possible. Just have to keep working hard, work on the car a little bit.
Do you know the exact points?
I think
It's between you and
I
Titus,
have-
who won the race, right?
Yeah, it is. I don't know the exact points, but all I know is that I'm gonna have to make up 25 on them next.
And where are you starting? Do you know?
P7 for the next one.
Okay.
So,
So you start
definitely
with it.
possible.
Okay.
This time hopefully we can get into the big pack like we saw in the F4
Yeah.
race. So
Yeah, that was a great race.
yeah.
Really good.
I was just a tiny bit out of it, but
Yeah, you needed an extra 5 laps, didn't you?
Because in the middle, just fighting with the 42 then. So
And you've been listening to Michael Costello. Your car number is
19.
19. Any social?
At M Costello Racing on Instagram.
And while you're here, thank your sponsors. Who have you got that's supporting you?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone at J. Howard Driver Development for
Good boy, Jay.
helping me throughout the whole season, making my car as fast as it could be, and obviously giving me many opportunities to succeed. Next, I'd like to thank ProGuard Warranty for helping me throughout the season with budget and everything. Just amazing. If you ever need to have some car warranty, you know who to go to.
There you go.
I'd like to thank everyone at 814 Management for absolutely doing an amazing job helping me know where to go for my next steps in racing, helping me driver development, and yeah.
Great words, and spoken like a true pro. But
Thank
like
you.
sitting next to Scott Dixon, getting all the right sponsors in there. But let's celebrate with this man, Oliver Westling. What a great drive, and what, as you heard his engineer say, what a last lap. And Callum Hedge, well, he'll be miffed, but yeah, I mean, that was just a move and a half, and I do not think he expected that. But boy, in the words of these youngsters, he sent it. No question about it. Talking to youngsters, John Fippin's going to be getting his way with the microphone, but he will be in a minute. Here he comes. He's in the background. Well done, Ollie. And there's the smile. Says it all. And there's John Fippin. Told you, look, he's just running towards the microphone, John Fippin. And Ollie Westling is going to hug the whole paddock. All right, let's do head now down to John Fippin, who's going to talk to our winner, Ollie Westling.
We're here with Oliver Westling, getting congratulations from his crew. His second win on the season. Oliver, tell us about that last lap.
The last lap was tough. I mean, Callum is definitely hard to fight with, and he won't let up easy. So I feel really good about it. I pushed hard. I wouldn't let up the last turn, so I just shot turn 20 and just went for it.
Margin of victory was 5/100ths of a second.
Sorry?
The margin of victory was 5/100ths of a second.
Yeah, I saw him next to me. I saw his front wing, and I was like, "There's no way he's passing me." So yeah.
Congratulations on your second win on the season.
Thank you.
Oliver Westling, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Johnny.
Well done, Oliver Westling wins race 2 in the Formula Regional Americas race here. One more race to go for the 2023 season, but we'll take a short break and stay with us because we're going to come back with the F4 race and you'll be able to watch Michael Costello, who's alongside me, coming up in, well, a little bit of time, but stay with us and we'll be putting up graphics to let you know when that race will be coming.
Everything in our garage is inspired by our racing spirit. Race in for a great deal on the Honda CR-V. Only at the Honda Dream Garage Spring Event.